I am Don Rubin.
And I'm Barbara Weiner, his wife.
And we are in Highland Park, Illinois, currently at our home. And we've been asked to discuss the creation of Operation Welcome Homes, which is a program that is meant to try to solicit donations of homes and gift certificates and other things for military personnel returning from Iraq and Afghanistan, to give them an opportunity to kind of rest and relax with their families before they get back to, going back about their civilian lives. We came up with the idea basically one night when we were up at our house in Door County, Wisconsin. We had just heard a news report about the veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan and how difficult the adjustment period was for them, and how both they and their families felt very alienated and uncomfortable with each other because of the changes that had occurred during their 14 or 18-month absence, or however long it took. And Barb and I were standing outside talking, and we looked on this particular block where we live in Door County, and found that probably out of the 10 or 12 houses that were on the block, 10 of them were empty. And we kind of looked at each other at that point in time, and the idea just kind of came to us simultaneously, is why can't we seek donations of these empty houses to give military personnel and their families a chance to take as free a vacation as we can make for them.
Well, one of the reasons we did this is because we're Vietnam-era people. We remember when the soldiers came home, how poorly they were treated, and we watched a lot of the news reports and everything that a lot of these people are coming back from very lengthy stays that were unanticipated. Some of them are reservists who never anticipated being in this kind of a situation. And the hardship, not just on them, but on their families when they've been away, the financial hardships, the stress. And we were trying to find a way to say, we welcome you back, we appreciate what you've done for us, and we know that you need some time to reacclimate yourself to your family when you're not worried about, the bills that are piling up in the mailbox or things like that. And we felt that if we could get them away for a couple of days, a weekend, a week, in somewhere where it's fairly peaceful, where they could be with their family and just kind of reconnect, and in a stress-free environment, as little money as possible spent out of their pockets, free if we could do it, that would be a way of welcoming them back, hence the name Welcome Home. Welcoming them back, telling them we appreciate what they've done, not just us, but the rest of the country. We appreciate what they've done, and give them an opportunity to decompress and to reestablish a relationship with their family. And we found that so many of them would write to us and say, I got married right before I left, I never had a honeymoon, or we didn't have a chance to take a vacation, or I haven't seen my newborn. And there's so many things, and the letters we have gotten from these people are so heartwarming.
I think the lessons learned out of Vietnam, frankly, how disrespectful we were to the troops, how they got blamed for everything that had to do with the war. And back then I thought that was right. And over the years, as I aged and looked at things and looked at the history of Vietnam and the history of war generally, you realize that it really wasn't the troops, and yet they took the brunt of the blame from the American public, and it really just bothered me. And I said, this time we can't let it go. What we wanted to do is kind of establish a model for other people in other states to maybe grab onto, because right now we've been pretty successful, but most of our work is done up in Wisconsin, because the Door County area has really kind of taken hold of this, and they've been very nice about donating gift certificates to shops and restaurants and theaters up there, and but we don't have we can't offer airfares and things like that, because we're just not set up to do that yet. It's just kind of I'd like to say mushroom, but it's been kind of a slow growth program. We've had about 75 to 80 families through the program currently. Out of so many military personnel who are overseas, we've got a long way to go. But the important thing was to get started. Door County is considered the quote-unquote Cape Cod of the Midwest.
it is, what was it voted? The
Number one vacation
Midwest
destination in the
vacation
Midwest.
destination. Our city, Fish Creek town, was also voted the number one Midwest town to visit.
It's a peninsula surrounded by water. It's got golf courses, it's got theater, it's got antiques, it's got horseback riding, it's got hiking. What's nice about it is it provides a lot of recreational opportunities that don't cost anything, which is very important to a lot of people, not just military personnel, but it helps to be able to go hiking or fishing. And it's just a really nice, peaceful place, great scenery. You can be as active or as inactive as you want to be, because it goes either way. But it's just the right environment for veterans coming back to kind of get some R&R. I mean, it's just not one of those hectic type paces.
I think it really doesn't matter how you feel about this war, because really it's about the people who are fighting it. It's irrelevant whether you're in favor of this war or not in favor of this war, or any other war for that matter. It's really just the people coming back need this.
What I find interesting is when I communicate by email with the soldiers, all they care about is their families. They never complain about the situation over there. You never hear them say anything. The families are scared to death for them, but they're scared to death for the family. It's like their family is over there too, and I think in certain respects it's like that. So it really is interesting to see, but I've never, in all the people I've talked to, there's not one time I've heard somebody say, this is wrong, I want him back, this is terrible, what they're doing to him or her, or what they're doing to me, and that's just not their way. Their way is to be totally concerned about the other person, and it's just to a person that seems to be the feeling. So that's one of the reasons that kind of pushes us to try and help them, because there's so much concern out there, and letting them know that somebody else is concerned too, I think helps. But you know what? It's, if your heart's in the right place and you feel a need to do something, you got to go out there and do it.
Don't not try it because you might fail. So who cares if you fail? Don't go ahead and try it, and talk to everybody you ever see about what you're doing, because it will snowball. People will be coming through. Can I help? What can I do for you? It does happen.
We'd like to get more donations. We'd like more people to inquire about the program. We have a website, operationwelcomehomes.org. There's phone numbers on it. There's emails. We have been contacted by people who say, how do we start that here? And it's just not that hard. It's just a willingness to try. And there's a lot of people with good hearts out there. They just have to be motivated a little bit to get past the initial fear. But my only answer is, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? Is somebody says no, so somebody's going to say yes. Working with the veterans, working with the kids, it's just something both of us are dedicated to doing, and we do it. And the minute you say you don't have time, I mean, look what you guys are doing. I mean, you probably have better things to do, no? So
I like helping people. I just think that's the right thing to do. I just do. I mean, I don't understand people who don't do it. And I do know people who say, well, if I'm going to do something like that, I want to get paid. But you do get paid. You get paid in knowing that you've helped somebody, and that, it's the right thing to do. I just don't know how else to explain it.